निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविडं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव त्वमेव सर्वं गुरुदेव देव. Hari Om. We are doing for self-realization, who is qualified or am I qualified? So the qualifications are prerequisite for inquiring into the nature of Brahman or nature of the self is essentially four specified, at least recommended by Shankaracharya, and that essentially involves Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi Shatka Sampatti and Mumutshutvam, or we call it 4 Ds, the discrimination and dispassion and the discipline and desire to get liberated. These are the 4 essential requirements, and that manifests, we are discussing in terms of what is exactly Viveka and what is involved, and Vairagya also what it really means. Vairagya is ultimately giving up wrong notions about yourself is Vairagya. But before that, you have to give up. Once you give up wrong notions about yourself, automatically you give up all other things also, because all other things is only because you have wrong notions. So the ignorance causes all other problems. But next, we discuss those two, the Vairagya, the Viveka and Vairagya. And the third one is Samadhi Shatka Sampatti, the discipline. There are 6 categories on that, and defined essentially Sama, Dhamma, Shraddha, Uparati, Titiksha, Samadhanam. Sama, Dhamma, Shraddha, Uparati, and the Titiksha and Samadhanam. So there are 6 subsections in the discipline. So we'll go one by one, because Shama means trying to mentally not to go after things that you don't need it, or getting rid of or mental association with the objects of desire. So essentially, I want this, I want this, I want this, and I am going after it. So if I don't have a desire for it, then I will not go for that. So whenever I say, if I want this and I'm not happy unless I have, then you inquire, does it really gives me happiness? Do I need it for me to be happy? If it is needed, then go. But if you analysis, there is no happiness in any object, and it's only because of your previous vasana you are propelled to that. So understanding and therefore controlling the mind, not going into different channels for sensuous enjoyments, is essentially Sama. So Sama will not be 100% until I completely hold on all my senses and not running after. And that requires a tremendous discipline, and that's what is required. Because why that becomes a qualification? If I say happiness out there, that means I have not really understood that happiness is not out there. The very fact that I am longing for it because I want to be happy with that, I am not going to be happy without that. That's what longing mind is. So the desire for any object is nothing but a manifestation of inadequacy of yourself, and recognizing that the object, there is a happiness in the object. In fulfilling those desires, you are going to be happy. That very statement implies that you are not understood, or you are not turned your mind into clear understanding. So Shama is required, and it will be complete only when I turn my mind completely and recognize that I am full. Until then, you start doing it. Withdraw your mind from unnecessarily enjoyment, so-called enjoyment. So should I not enjoy anything? That's not what it says. It says longing for it, wanting for it, desiring for an object. If it comes, it's okay. If it doesn't come, it's okay. If it is very hot, I want to look for some shade. Is it a wrong desire? No. Comforts are different, basic needs are different. What you need for the body to protect your body, that becomes your duty. So you are longing to protect your body enough so that you can realize, if it's not possible, he will talk about different the requirement later, like titiksha and so on. So if I can get what I need, then go after it. So, if I am a Vedantin, so there is a big buffet is offered, and varieties of foods are offered. Oh, they are offering, therefore I take it. No, you take what you need. What you need and what gives you the minimum comfort that is needed for the body. Oh, I'm a vegetarian, then go and look for where is vegetarian things is, and only take that. Don't have to complain about others, because Lord is providing everything. So there is when I was a student of, when in the long time ago, when I was with Gurudev Swami Chinmayanandaji, and one lady asked a question. At that time, all sorts of swamis are coming. There is a young swami, and people are big procession for him. And ultimately, he married a secretary, and people at last denounce him. This is some divine line mission or some mission, where the father died and the young fellow is thrown into that position, and he does not have the required qualifications, but because of his mother put him there, and because they have big following, and he was welcomed all over, and ultimately we have big problem. There is another Swami, he had a 14 Rolls Royce behind him, and said, how can he be Swami? All these questions are right. And this lady asked this Gurudev, says, why is India, this is an American lady, why is India sending all these Swamis, useless Swamis? Why India can only send Swamis who are well established in that? Because a lot of people are following the wrong Swamis. So if India doesn't send all this, then we don't have this problem. That's what her question. So Gurudev answered beautifully. He says, when I go to a shop, and when I go to a shop thinking that I need certain things, so I look around and look at the ingredients, and if particularly when I am vegetarian, I have to make sure some of the cookies and all that they have used to make all with the lard and animal fat and all that. So you look at the ingredients, and if that's not what you need, don't take it. So you go and select what you need based on your intelligence and your need. Don't complain to the manager, why is he selling all sorts of useless things which I don't need it? He said, send only what I need. He said, that's crazy. He has to fulfill the needs of so many customers who have different needs. And in case you pick up a wrong thing, if it is in America, you can go and return it once you find out, hey, this is not the right one. So in America, you can return it and you get back the money. But if in India, they don't take it back, so you suffer. Next time you are intelligent enough not to take and more use your discrimination properly. So therefore, take what you, so you cannot complain that the manager is selling unnecessarily things. He has to cater different people who have different needs or different desires. So Lord, look at the whole customers of the whole world and see what they need and they provide. In the process, they will grow and say, this is not what we need something else. And that particular need is required at that time to know that that's not the thing they need. See, so if you go to a wrong teacher, you will get a lesson that this teacher is wrong teacher, I need a right teacher. So at that time when you go to wrong teacher, that was the right teacher because you need that education first before you can use a mind properly to know what is the right teacher. So everybody is led to a proper environment conducive for their growth ultimately, provided you are sharp enough to use your discrimination. Is that really what I need? Am I getting the satisfaction of what I want? And that's what scripture says in the end, says that the parikshalokan karmachitan brahmano nirveda mayan nasya krutakrutena tad vijnanartham sagurum eva abhigatse samitpanihi sotriyam brahmanishtam. This is in the Mundakopanishad. It says parikshalokan karmachitan brahmana. Brahmana means here he is a seeker who examines all that pursuits in his life. Hey, I thought I'm going to be very successful. I was looking for it. I got it. But I'm still not happy. I need something else. So I want big house. Okay, am I happy with those? Now I have complained, I have to pay taxes and this and that. Nobody is happy with what they have. They have something else they need. So if you go to different lokas also, they will be looking for higher and higher things all the way. That's called Ananda scale that we mentioned in the Taittiriya Upanishad. And everybody is 100 times more than happy than other guy, but 100 times less than the higher guy too. So he is in the middle where he is above 100 times more than the lower guy, but 100 times smaller than the next guy in the next level. So all the way there is a hierarchy. Interesting thing is, in that statement, like Manushya Anandaha, Gandharva Anandaha, where he will be happy when he has all that in that. And scripture conveniently uses another word. Same guy is also happy if he doesn't have that also. So the sotriyasya akamayatasya, that word sotriyasya akamayatasya means you can get happy with what you have at this level, but you can also get happy at that level by not having any desires at that level. Sotriyasya akamayatasya, the one who understood. Sotriya means one who has studied scriptures that these are not temporarily, these are all temporarily, I need a better happiness. The one who has a vairagya, and akamaya, akama means does not have desire for it, is also happy, equally happy. So it means one who has a vairagi also as happy, as much as happy one who has possessing all that also. That's the statement. At each level the same statement is given. So one who does not have anything, but who has no desire for anything on that level, is also equally happy as the one who has it. So don't think that the one who doesn't have is not happy. One can be happy not having anything also. He may not be comfortable, body may not be comfortable, but he will be uncomfortably but happy. Whereas the other guy having everything uncomfortable but unhappy also, because he is still inadequate. Because a billionaire also wants some more billions. Whereas one who has just enough and says, I am satisfied, I don't need anything more, is happy. So question is in terms of the longing for that is not there. That's what essentially is Shama. Dhamma is trying to control, physically not going there. I don't like to drink. Then why are you going and sitting in the bar? If you don't like, then go into the place where they are selling the things that you don't like. Don't go there, go some other place where it's available. I don't like the whole world, I want to do satsang. But if you are going into the world, into politics and all that, you don't get satsang, you get only all other things. But go to where the temple or a church or somewhere where your mind is uplifted in that direction, not in the worldly things. So seeking proper environment becomes important as a part of it. That's called Dhamma. So in fact, seeking satsang means a good company. A good company is that which turns towards sat. So one that towards the pure existent consciousness, that company is a satsang. And that company is what is required. That's why Shankaracharya says in the Bhajgovindam, satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatattvam, nischalatatve jivan muktaha. How do I get self-realization? He has given you hierarchy of evolution there. Krishna tells you in the hierarchy of how you go down in the drain. in the Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, Jayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Upajayate Sangas Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Upajayate Krodat Bhavati Sammoha Sammoha Sputi Vibhramaha Sputi Bramsa Buddhi Nashaha Buddhi Nashat Pranasyati. Buddhinasha, when you don't have the intellect properly, you are going to go down the lane. Pranasya means get destroyed by yourself. How? Jayato Vishayan Pumsa. How do I get a desire? So this is one day I was just walking on the shop and suddenly I saw a beautiful picture there. It was there, hey, that's very beautiful. Then I went through. Next day again I saw the same beautiful picture there in the window. And says, hey, this looks beautiful, I should have it. The desire, Jayato Vishayam Sangha, by association with an object again and again and again, I get a desire to have it or to reject it. Raga, Dvisha, either I would like to have it or I hate that one. Either way comes by association with the object, constant association. Jayato, I keep thinking about it, about that object, I get attachment to it. That's called Sangam. So how do you get attachment? When you start thinking about the same thing again and again. So, Jayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangaha Upajayate, the attachment, desire for it. Sangha Sanjayate Kamaha. From that attachment you get a desire to possess it. Sanjayate Kamaha. Kamat Krodho Bijayate. So I keep on doing every day. I'm looking at the picture and I want one day I said I would like to buy it. Suddenly I saw sale and I saw this picture is on sale. That means they are selling for a lower price. So I rushed there to get it. But what happens there? When I ask for I want to buy it, that fellow said it's already sold. Somebody already bought before you. So what happened now? I'm angry now. Sanjayate kamat krodho bijayate. When my desire is not fulfilled, that desire itself turns into anger, and when anger comes and when you are angry, you lose a discrimination, what is right and what is wrong. And kamat krodho bijayate, krodat bhavatis sammoha, you get deluded and you don't know what is whom are you hitting, whom are you abusing, maybe your own teacher, your own parents, your own mother, and you are ready to abuse. That's because you lost the discrimination. Krodot bhavati sammoha, delusion, sammoha sputi vibhrama, you forget whom you are dealing with, and sputi vibhramsa buddhinashaha. Therefore, that's how one goes down the drain. That's Krishna gives. Here in the Shankaracharya gives how you can go up now by having association with the right people, by noble people or noble books, where your mind is now associated with that. Is it not attachment? But this attachment gives you detachment. That's what that says. Satsangatve nissangaha. Detachment comes. That is Vairagya comes. And nissangatve nirmoha. When you get detached, the delusion that I want this, I won't live without it, will also go away. And therefore, nirmohatve nischaratatvaha. The mind becomes calm and serene. No more perturbations. I want this, I want this. That's the perturbation in the mind. Disturbance in the mind. Agitations in the mind. And that nischaratatve jivan muktaha. One gets essentially self-realization. Jivan Mukta means liberating while still living in the body, mind, intellect. So that is an evolution by proper attachment, and therefore Dhamma means withdrawing physically from those things where that gives you wrong attachments and putting in yourself in the right place. Shama Dhamma, and then Shama Dhamma Uparati. Uparati is essentially unnecessarily not longing for things that are not needed. So that's what I give example of. This American lady, that peace pilgrim, and she started withdrawing everything. And one interesting story about the lady, as she was walking and they saw one car and she needed a ride because she was getting tired, and she was hoping that this fellow who stopped can give her a ride. But that fellow who was there waiting for her, he saw her coming, so he wanted to in fact abuse her, or not abuse her, or misuse her in such a way that he will become more happy with that. So he wanted to in fact exploit her. And when she asked for, can you give me a ride, he was very happy to accommodate her, and he opened the door and accommodated, but with the wrong notions and wrong ideas. And when she started talking about the peace and all that, the very satsang itself converted him into a good person, where he confessed that he is giving ride only for the wrong reason. He wanted to take her to some place where he can rape her or do something else, but he completely changed because of the satsang, and he confessed that I was giving, I'm sorry, and he became her own disciple in fact. And that's how the satsangatve nissangatvam can happen also. So when you are, Lord himself protects you. So when you start going higher, the protection is by the Lord himself, provides you proper environment for your growth. So that's what essentially the Shama, Dhamma, Uparama. Uparama is not longing for unnecessarily, Uparati. So Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, and Shraddha. Shraddha means on the faith in the teaching, that what the teacher says is right. I don't see it, but there must be something that is that which I cannot see, that I had to see through proper knowledge. And that's what a faith is, believing in what it is true, even though I don't see it right now. That faith. So every scientist has a faith. He says, he makes a hypothesis. This must be the way. That is his faith. And then he investigates, and even if he finds wrong, that's not the correct, he changes his hypothesis and also declares, don't go in this path because that's not the right path. So he puts another hypothesis, and hypothesis is what? Shraddha. That is the faith. Don't say it's not a belief, it is a faith. Faith is required for every investigation. I should have a faith that when I put my step forward, I will be going forward and not falling out. That faith only makes me to move forward. All that is faith based only because I do not know what's going to be next. So I have full faith in that what's going to be. That's what is Shraddha. Then Titiksha. Titiksha means forbearance. So even though I want something and trying to do something, but I don't get what I want, in fact completely opposite, and if I say, what should I do? I thought I will be better off, but now I'm getting all wrong things. What should I do? Forbearance. Forbearance means you have to bear that things that come that are beyond your control. It's not a fanatism. It's not being like a stepping stone for everybody to step on you. It is that where I tried my best. At the same time, I am not able to get what I want, and the body is not able to get what it wants, but there is nothing I can do. It's called the prayer of serenity. Serenity is do what you can control and give up what you cannot control, but have the intelligence to know what the difference between the two. So if I don't control, then it is a part of prarabdha. You have to forbear, that's called titiksha. So even though Pandavas are so close friends to the Lord Krishna, they suffered more compared to Kauravas, because that is what is required to prepare the mind. Sometimes titiksha is required to prepare the mind so that you can easily give up things, so that you can turn your mind to the higher. And that becomes the required discipline. So we covered Shama, Dhamma, and Shraddha, Uparati, Titiksha, and Samadhanam. Samadhanam essentially, one is concentration on what you want to do. So I have a goal in mind, and I have to concentrate my mind without having other things. So I should have a dispassion to other things, and therefore put my mind, that's called concentration, samadhanam. So what is that I want in life? Only those people who have single pointed devotion towards that. That's also devotion. because devotion is the commitment towards the higher is a devotion. So you don't call it love for the Lord, is called devotion because that is love towards the higher. You raise in the process. In the higher means you uplift yourself in the process. The other love, so-called love, is a transactional love, and you are falling in love. Falling in love is going down in the love because your mind gets agitated in the process and you cannot sleep, you cannot rest, all other problems come into picture. Whereas in the other one, you become more and more peaceful, and that's called devotion toward the higher. Or higher is that where you become peaceful. So working for the country is a devotion. Working for a common cause that helps everybody, that is the higher one, because in the process all lower things fall away and fall apart for realization. That essentially samadhana. These are the sixfold discipline is required. And the last one is the desire, intense desire for liberation. So everybody say, I want liberation, I want see. So what are you doing? I will come after this, after that, after that. So I want this, and also I want liberation. Why I want this and this? Because I think that gives me happiness, this gives me happiness. One side I want to more absolute happiness. Other side I am looking for other happiness. That means I have not really understood. Therefore mind is getting dissipated in other things. So one is mind has to withdraw, and this desire is different from all other desires. This desire eliminates all other desires, and in the process this desire also drops down. So this is a methodology required. These are the requirements for preparation of the mind. So what is actually mind required is chitta vishalata and chitta suddhi and ekagrata. Chitta ekagrata, chitta vishalata. These are the essential aspects of these four qualifications. Chitta vishalata means expansion of the mind. Chitta ekagrata means single pointed devotion, that I want this, I want this, I want this alone. For any success, you need a chitta ekagrata. I want to get first class in the exam. So I had to study or do all other requirements in order to get. That's my single pointed devotion. And therefore I do all other things, and only things that are required to help me to get that, and dropping all other dissipative things, going on to playing football, this, or watching TV, all that are dissipating the mind. I withdraw my mind from all that and invest in this, because this is the one that I want. That's called ekagrata. That is required for Vedanta. That's required for self-realization. So when I say people, I've been doing meditation, I'm not able to get it. I've been attending Vedanta class for 20 years, but I have not realized. All these statements mean that there is no commitment for that. And what happens if I don't have the proper faith? Shraddha is important. And I have a faith. That's not what exactly. I have faith only verbally, but I do not have faith enough to commit myself, because I want this and I want that also. I am going after so many other things, and I am going after Vedanta also. That means I do not have the faith, because all other things are temporal and does not give what I want ultimately. This is the highest one. And that commitment towards the Pramana says, Vedanta says, this is the highest one that everyone should look for. This is the very goal of life itself. Very living purpose itself is this, to self-realization. All other realizations are only temporarily and not lasting permanently. And this is what exactly is required. And for this only you are taking birth every time. Until you get, you cannot but being continuously, samsara will go on. Samsara will end only when I realize I am that. So that is what is required, and most of the people do not have it. That's why Krishna says Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatadadapi siddhanam kaschin mam vitti tattvataha. Of thousands of people, very few people are really interested. Why? Because all other people are interested in getting this. because they think that is more important than this, because they think that is the real happiness and not that. So they are still confused in that idea, and you are not going to change them, and he will argue and make you that you are only belief system and all that only. So you have to leave them, let them learn in their own way until they come back. If not this life, next life. There is always next life anyway. So that longing for it will not go until I understand this properly. So thousands of people, only few people are really interested, and of the few people who are interested, only few people make an effort to realize it. And Krishna laments is essentially not many are really trying, even though they want this, and that can only be only for those who are committed. Now we'll go into the next talk. So later we'll talk about obstacles for self-realization. I understood, but I have not realized. What does that mean? And all that is required in terms, analysis is required in terms of self-realization. And we'll do that in the tomorrow talk. With this we stop. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.